And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are off, starting our Munar base. Alright, let's take this a little slow here because what we're flying in this payload isn't exactly the most stable. And you'll see why when I get rid of the fairings. So we gotta be kind of careful because this craft is going to be a bit wobbly. Alright, so as you can see, I went with the retro classic orange on the main booster here. Just felt like it. Some solid rocket boosters on the side just to get us up out of the initial lift of the atmosphere here. This payload is pretty heavy, so I didn't want to do a regular asparagus format. I'll explain what that is in some other episode. I don't really feel like going into it right now. But yeah, so we're just climbing up. We're about to lose our solid rocket boosters here. Ooh, they're getting too hot. Alright, so we're getting actually pretty high up in the atmosphere here, so I'm going to try and even this out a little bit. Yeah, we're already in orbit here. I mean, we're not in orbit, but we're in what Kerbal Space Program considers altitude of orbit. We're actually going to get rid of these fairings now, and you'll see it's this weird, long part of a base that we're going to be building. And you'll see that in a little bit. Yeah, we're just going to keep climbing, and we're going to get into orbit. So we're just about ready to burn here for this orbital insertion burn. We're just trying to speed up here. I'll go to the map. We're trying to get this blue line to look like this orange dotted line, because that's going to be us getting into orbit. So that dotted line is the plan, the blue line is our current orbit, and that is climbing. Perfect. So we're just going to burn, looks like half of our fuel here, and then we've still got plenty for insertion. I think we used too much, I think we packed too much fuel, but that's okay. Rather have too much and not need it than have too little and get stuck and have to hack it. So yeah, we're just going to be burning for quite a while here, so we'll be back. Alright, and we are at cutoff. So, we are in orbit. Let's go ahead and quick save. Now we're going to just plot our orbit, or our burn for catching the Mun over there. Oops, a little too far. There it is. That's where we'll hit it. 202 meters, I can deal with that. Wow, we're still not even done with this big bottom's first stage booster. Wow, we packed way too much fuel. Okay. So we're gonna just burn ever so slightly here, because I want to reposition, and it's going to take forever to reposition with just the monopropellant boosters, which are those little white things that you see shooting off. Alright. We want to hit that little blue mark, and then we're going to time warp to lock it in. Close enough. Okay, so this is going to be about a 30-second burn. You can see that down here. I'll time warp We got about 10 minutes until we have to burn. Alright, we're coming up on it. So we want to burn it about 15 seconds till, because you want to burn about half to the point that you've planned and half after. So 36-second burn will burn for about 15 seconds. Or will burn at 15 seconds, I should say. So this one will take about 30 seconds. It's definitely shorter than getting into orbit because this is most of the work. There's the moon. That's where we're headed. We're just accelerating towards it right now. Watch our orbit. Almost there. We're gonna wait till we get caught by the moon's gravity and oops, went a little too far. That's okay. Actually, that's not okay because if we continue doing it that way, then we're gonna hit the moon when we get caught by its gravity, and we don't want to hit the moon. We want to orbit the moon. I think I done goofed. No, I might have fixed it. Yay, I fixed it. Perfect. Haha. As if by design. Okay, so now we're just going to wait until we get all the way out here. In fact, actually, we're just going to warp to it right now. Warp here. Bye, Kerbal. Hello, Mun. Gotta love time warp. That would have taken us 4 hours in real life. If I just sat here doing it. 4 or 5 hours. Okay, so we are almost at the Mun. Let's just warp 10 minutes into the future. Alright, and we have been captured by the moon's gravity. So now we're going to want to make a burn here. Perfect, because we want to slow down so that we can get into orbit of the moon. Oh, out of monopropellant. Nobody saw this. Nobody saw that. Okay. So we're just going to maneuver a little bit. We're kind of slowing down, and that's okay. Alright. Now we're going to get to our maneuver node. Fast forward about 20 minutes. Perfect. Alright, so we'll just close this orbit, and we're actually going to do something a little sneaky here. We're going to crash! We're going to set this to crash. Oh no, we're not crashing. Oops. I had it set to that instead of that. That's funny. Give me a sec. Wait for it to come back around. There we go. And we stopped it. Okay, we're going to make it crash. So right now, if I just left this, we would crash into the surface of the moon. But that's not going to happen. Because we're going to detach our first stage booster. And then we are going to go prograde and burn prograde. Which means forward. Well, kind of means forward, but we'll get into that later. You can think of prograde and retrograde as forward and backwards for the most part. Alright, so now we're going to just circularize our orbit again. Alright, getting up there. That's good enough. I don't need it to be really circular, to be honest, because we're going to land this bitch pretty soon. Oh, you know what? I am going to need it to be circular, because we're going to need to assemble with the crane. So, I will be back after I have circularized this orbit and rendezvoused with the space station that we have out here. I'll be back. Alright, and we have rendezvoused with our orbital station around the Mun. Took me long enough, but for you it was a split second, so that's fine. Alright, so actually what we're going to do now is quick save. And we are going to go back to the Space Center. Because now we have to launch our crane. So I'm going to skip most of this process again. And we're going to rendezvous the crane around the Mun, and we'll be back. Alright, we are back. And we have rendezvoused yet again with the orbital station and our piece of the base now. And this contraption is the crane, quote-unquote. So this is a remote guidance unit up here, and a bunch of other stuff that makes this really useful. But the biggest feature is this tiny little docking port down here, and we're actually going to control from here. And this docking port here, which we're going to set as target here. And then we're going to use our autopilot to dock them. So, what this is going to do is basically it's going to carry it down to the surface, and it's going to allow us to not have to put engines on the base. So we just have wheels on the base, and we'll carry it down to the surface of the Mun with the crane. Pretty cool. We will obviously get rid of the engine that's attached to it. I was just using that for control, so as soon as we dock here, I will detach that and crash it into the surface. Beautiful. Capture. Oh, we're glitched. Great. We'll be right back. Alright, so we are back, and we have docked properly now. We've also separated from this, so we're going to quick save again, and then we're going to go to this guy, go to retrograde, because we just want to burn him into the Mun now. Hit anything. Perfect. And there we go. Beauty. Okay. So now we're ready to take this guy down to the surface. And that's what we're going to do next.